In this video, I'm going to discuss which lenses to own, Lightroom versus Photoshop, and also, does aperture matter when you are panning? Episode 40 starts now. Hi everybody, my name is Gerry, I'm from Wild Eye, and this is episode 40 of my wildlife photography Q&A video series in which I answer your wildlife photography questions. So, it's been crazy busy. If you follow on Snapchat, you'll know I've been a little bit quieter in the last while because it's battle stations for us here in the Wild Eye office. We're working on itineraries well into 2018. Billy, who runs our Kenya office logistics, he's here with us this week. We're looking at all the logistics from airport pickups all the way to the food for the Mara, the whole Mara product which we own. We own the Mara camp and the vehicles, which is an amazing experience. Billy's out here with us, and we're working on all those logistics with him, doing websites and social media with him tomorrow. So it's nice and busy. Thank you for all the questions, guys. Keep them coming. There's some pretty cool stuff that you guys are asking. I posted a quick little link on a video on my Facebook page this morning, so go check that out, to do with people asking what should the settings be for a shot. I can't answer that. Go and check the video on my Facebook page. Link is down here. So, nice and busy. It is now, what is the time? It's 6 o'clock in the evening. Been in the office since early this morning. So, nice long days. Loving it though. Late in the day, I'm going to keep this one nice and tight. Short episode if we can. 4 questions starting now.
AKGRL33 asked on Instagram, essential lenses to own. I know there are a lot, but to have a well-run collection, which ones are essential?
Okay, AKGRL33. It's a question that comes up again and again and again, and I've been through this one before, but we'll do this again because a lot of the guys that are new, so let's catch up on this. My first choice for lens is always a 70-200. I can shoot that up in Svalbard when I'm doing polar bears, in East Africa where the animals and stuff are normally quite far away, all the way to close, like in Sabi Sands, where you get much closer to the animals. 70-200. If you want a well-rounded bag full of gear, you would probably end up going for something like a 24-70, 70, 200, 200 to 400. That covers you then for 24 all the way to 400. But, and I've mentioned this in previous videos, it depends on the type of images you want to create. If I could take one lens only ever with me, it would be a 70-200. And then if I had to be pushed to go either higher or lower, I'd probably end up with a 24-70. But ask yourself the question, when you answer this for yourself, what type of images do you want to create? Because that will determine the type of lenses you pack in your bag.
Andrew asked on Instagram, had Photoshop for 2 years, still can't do it. Close to tears on this, and now so inundated with work that I don't have time to wrestle with it.
Andrew, this is another one that I've done in the past, but it's worth looking at again. I just spent this afternoon from 12 to 4 on a private Lightroom tutorial here at the office, and there is absolutely no question that Lightroom is the easier option compared to Photoshop. Yes, if you've been dealing with Photoshop for many, many moons and you understand it, that's cool. But for the majority of us, and I'm including myself in this, I grew up with Lightroom. I know Photoshop, but I grew up with Lightroom. Again, and if you look at our courses and videos and material, whatever, if you park Photoshop and Lightroom next to each other and you pop the hood on both, the engine is exactly the same. The raw processing power is exactly the same. Lightroom just has a much sexier, easier user interface. The power is the same. Lightroom is designed to process a lot of images quickly. You can look at the images in the program, you can process the images in the program, and you can bounce around between the two. There is absolutely no argument, I believe, to be made that Photoshop is the easier option for someone new. None whatsoever. So Andrew, toss Photoshop out, install Lightroom. Go and check on this YouTube channel, if you're watching this on YouTube, check out my Lightroom channel, or Lightroom, playlist, and you'll find a lot of content on there. Lightroom is the easier option, bar none. There's a lot of content out there on my channel, on other channels. Check it out and learn Lightroom. Guarantee you it will make a difference. And then, what you do, like you did, ask me a question. I don't know how to do X, Y, and Z, and I can create the content for these videos for you and for everybody else. Andrew, ditch Photoshop, get Lightroom, you won't be sorry.
Umar asked on Snapchat, what's the starting aperture for panning?
Umar, it really doesn't matter what aperture you use for panning. Think about it. If I'm going to pan along with an animal, the important thing is the shutter speed. You need a slow enough shutter speed to be able to blur the background while you stay on the subject moving past. So whether I have a 2.8 aperture, which normally renders the background nice and soft, or I have an 11 aperture, which renders the background more sharp and in focus, if I'm moving along with the subject, I'm going to streak that background anyway. So it's much of a muchness here. I prefer to shoot my pans in aperture mode, which I always do. I then just dial my aperture all the way up. I close it down to f16, f11, and then I pan along because the shutter speed's slow enough. Again, panning does not mind which aperture you are using. Shutter speed is important, aperture not so much. If you can pan at 2.8, it's bloody dark already, so then you're not going to have too much to play with anyway. So it doesn't matter. Aperture on panning does not matter. Try it out, and if you have questions on it, you know what to do. Send me that question.
Wayne on Facebook asked, what are your general rules for setting up white balance in your camera?
Wayne, another nice technical one which a lot of people seem confused about is white balance in camera. First question I'm going to ask you is, do you shoot in RAW? If you shoot in RAW, it does not matter because you can change your white balance after the fact in Lightroom and or Photoshop. Literally in Lightroom at the top of the screen, you have temperature and there's a little drop down which will give you auto, daylight, shady, tungsten, cloudy, whatever it is. It's all there. If you shoot in JPEG, yes, then you would have to decide what white balance you're shooting on, because that white balance setting gets locked down in the JPEG, where in a RAW file, it is just part of the information that you then process later on. So for me personally, I shoot an late in the day. I shoot an auto white balance 95% of the time. The other 5% is purely to be creative in the field on workshops. For example, if I'm shooting a sunset, the sun's going down, there's blue in the sky and there's a little bit of orange. If I set my white balance to cloudy, it will introduce more orange shades, which makes the sunset look more dramatic. But still, that is purely for me in the field to show people on the back of the camera, look, this is what can happen if you start thinking creatively about the photography. But because I'm shooting RAW, it doesn't matter. So Wayne, short answer, in camera, I shoot auto white balance because I shoot in RAW. Done deal. Cool. Guys, that's it. 4 questions, nice and easy. It's busy in the office. This one should be going out on Tuesday. I think it's today. Is today Tuesday? Yes, we'll get that out. Next one's going out on Friday. I've got some questions lined up, but please send in more. Loving the questions coming in. It seems that people are starting to think more about their wildlife photography. There's still people asking the questions such as, what should my settings be? What should my ISO be? What should my shutter speed be? I don't know. What kind of image do you want? Go and check out our blog as well, guys. There's nice content going out. Johan put up one today on playing with different types of light. When people say put your camera away, you can still shoot. Go and check out the blog. It's a great resource for wildlife photography, inspiration, tips, tricks, tutorials, and the whole bunch. Or you could just look at the pretty pictures, which is also nice. Right, I'm gonna get this video online. I'll be on Snapchat this whole week, guys. Follow me there, it's awesome. Also Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, the whole hog. Ask me your questions and let me help answer them for you. If you like this video, share it with someone, like it, post it, whatever. Let's share the love. I'm loving doing these things. Let's get it out there. My name is Gerry. I'm from Wild Eye. I'll see you guys next time.